Hi, I'm Norm Kern, and I'd like to welcome you to Access MC, Access to Motorcycling. Each month, we take you to motorcycle events, both amateur and professional. Once again, we're coming to you from the American Motorcyclist Association Heritage Museum in Westerville, Ohio. This unique museum was built to showcase and preserve America's motorcycling heritage. This time, we're going to take you along on some trail riding experiences. The big joke about trail riding is that there's no place to do it, but that's not really true. For people who are trying to learn how to trail ride, it's a good idea to join a club or some other group that participates in trail riding. Here we are at the Dayton Motorcycle Club motocross track, and members and their friends use the track when there are no races being held as a way to practice and learn how to ride trail bikes. This is an ideal way to get started because the motocross track is nice and open. There aren't too many obstacles to hit, although there are plenty of hoop-de-doos, bumps, and mud holes where you can learn to use and really control the bike. Once you've mastered the motocross track, probably the next step is to go to a public trail riding area. In Ohio, there are several of these. This particular one is at Richland Furnace, which is over southeast of Chillicothe, Ohio.
Well, I figured, but I'm not familiar with the front of this side of the church, the other side of the church, and then at the tree farm? Yeah, stay out of there.
Here's the trail from the parking lot that runs back into the woods.
You don't want that road all the time.
This particular trail riding area has a parking lot just off of a small country road, and when you leave the parking lot, you go down a gravel road. The gravel road takes you way back in the woods. And once you get back there, there are various branches going off of that road that are real trails. There's a wide variety of terrain. Some of it's very easy, like these fire roads. But once you get off the fire roads, sometimes it can be a little bit tougher. This is a typical rocky downhill that is very typical of south central Ohio. And as you can see, there are the usual creek crossings. Many of the trails at Richland Furnace are used regularly for enduros. Right through the middle of the Richland Furnace area runs a railroad track. It isn't used very much these days. There's a tunnel. It's part of the route. This serves as a handy landmark so that later on when you look on the map you have some idea of where you were. Richland Furnace is named for an actual iron furnace. It's located way back in the woods not too far from the railroad track. Another major feature of Richland Furnace is what's commonly referred to as the pipeline. This is a cut straight across country where a gas pipeline runs north and south. And because it runs straight across country, it has some big up and downhill sections. In some places, like near the top of this one hill, you can see the actual pipe. It's not buried very deep, and it actually comes up on top of the ground in a few places. The best way to get up steep hills like that is with momentum. And you can see how the pipeline's sort of a roller coaster. If you continue on, you go down a steep hill, and then if you follow it, you go straight up another hill.
Oh, you can barely see.
The pipeline runs for about 5 miles straight cross country through the Richland Furnace area.
Here, it looks straight up.
A little bit more organized form of trail riding is the typical one-day trail ride. This is put on every year in June by the Trail Riders of the Wayne Association. The Trail Riders of the Wayne Association is a group that was formed specifically for working with park rangers and so on to help lay out motorcycle and all-terrain vehicle trails. And just coincidentally, they do a lot of trail riding. This event, which is just a one-day event, is typically held in June each year, attracts a lot of people, especially families, because they have usually 2 routes, one for adults and one that they call a kids' loop. They have a sign up, and the money that's charged for riding this event is used to support the club's activities with laying out and maintaining trails. The other interesting thing is this particular group, anyone who signs up for their one-day ride automatically becomes a member of their group, and they get the newsletters and so on so that they know when there are opportunities to come out and help the rangers lay out new trails.
Listen up, pay attention, correct me if I'm wrong, but here goes. All the trails are two-way traffic, so be cautious for riders coming the opposite direction. We're running on the trails, but everybody else is out there running also. People don't want to ride our ride. We haven't got no objections, but we'd like them to ride it, but we can't do anything about it. On the easy loop, there'll be people at the road crossings to help you across the road. Obey their instructions. They're there to help you. On the roads, paved especially, ride on the berm, not on the pavement. APB tag says berm.
Okay, and here we are out on the trail. This is definitely the adult loop, and this was probably the toughest hill of the entire day. The people who lay out trail rides usually make some effort to provide at least some sections that are as tough as enduros. That way, even the more advanced trail riders will be satisfied that they had a sufficient challenge for the day. For the less skilled rider, this really isn't quite as bad as it looks because everybody pretty much rides together, and for those who can't make it up, they usually get help from friends or other riders. A lot of non-riders really don't understand how this activity could be fun. But people who are into trail riding love a challenge. And here we are already at lunch. Part of the typical one-day trail ride is lunch being provided out somewhere on the trail along with gas, and this is a time to make minor repairs and adjustments to your bike.
I saw all the red. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
You lose your lunch.
It's on film.
You got trying to crash, now it's going to get you on lunch.
I didn't spill your lunch, did I?
No, I did.
On camera.
Hey, it's always last.
Once lunch is finished, it's back into the woods. This particular trail ride was almost all trail, and it was about 60 to 65 miles long. Because of the growth and interest in trail riding opportunities, a number of clubs and other promoters have gotten together to put on a series of national two-day dual sport type trail rides. This particular one, which is held at Lancaster, Ohio, is pretty typical. Here they are signing up. These runs are typically 2 days long, about 100 miles per day, with a mixture of road and trail, and they follow arrows just like on an enduro. But of course, there's no competitive aspect to this whatsoever. Everybody's just gotten together to enjoy the trails and have a good time.
Those of you that got maps, it'll be marked in yellow on your little map. I don't think the trails are going to be too bad today.
This list are given away for those at the end of the year. The drawing will be done December the 18th, just in time for Christmas. Last year, a guy from Michigan.
And here they go out on the trail. These runs usually start out with a little road section. In this case, it was quite a long road section, so that you didn't wind up going in the woods so early as to disturb the hunters. On two-day trail rides, the promoters always make it very easy for the riders. They provide a gas truck, which carries the gas cans around so that they have gas at the appropriate times. They don't run out of gas. And they also have a catered lunch each day at some scenic spot. Because you ride at your own pace, you can generally choose whether you ride with a group or out by yourself. And usually, as the day goes on, the riders sort themselves out into groups with varying levels of ability so that you can ride with other people at a very comfortable pace for you. Here we are at the lunch stop. You never know who you're going to run into at one of these rides. Here's Ed Hertfelder, author of the Duct Tapes column from Dirt Rider magazine.
Government.
Star Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
Now we're back out on the trail. This is a really nice road section. This is another one of those gas pipelines. See the white pole there marking it? Well, as you can see, there are actually very many opportunities for places to trail ride. Well, that's all we have time for this month. Remember, there will be a new show next month. In the meantime, I invite you to join the over 7 million people who enjoy the world of motorcycling. See you next time.